Hi there, welcome to I Lone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Pisces energy. And for this round of 12 zodiac sign readings, I'm going to use this minimum 10 card spread again, but this time we're going to use the tarot of the 78 doors, which might give us a little different flavor to the reading. And we're going to read it from both perspectives. You know, people got free will. Some people harness high vibe Pisces energy, and some people kind of harness worldly or maybe a more shadowy Pisces energy. You know, Pisces energy has to do with how, we view relationships. Do we have illusions about relationships? Do we live in fantasy land? Do we think we don't have to grow and mature ourselves, that we can be selfish and greedy and prideful and manipulative? That would be some people who harness shadowy Pisces energy, who have illusions about relationships, thinking people are just going to indulge them. Some people in their Pisces energy can get so caught up in their illusions about people they don't see the truth. And it can be emotionally confusing because you keep thinking someone will be different than what they are, but they keep showing you the truth of who they are, but we can keep staying in illusion about them. And high vibe Pisces is about people who see the truth, that we can love people and not be in a relationship with them or want to be in a relationship with them. People in high vibe Pisces believe in their dreams. They've offered love to themselves. They've gotten out of their fear, their insecurity, or at least shed some layers of it, because we're shedding layers of our fear and our insecurity and our egotistical nature throughout our life. And they're moving forward in life. They don't want to keep repeating the same relationship patterns over and over and over. It'd be like continuing to take the same type of job that is unfulfilling or doesn't work out, or you get fired from it. You keep doing the same job and applying for the same type of job. It's like, why do you do that? If we learn the lessons we're meant to learn and we love ourselves and believe in ourselves, we would be willing to move forward in hope and faith and belief in our dreams. The reason for the reading is the Six of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy, which in general, are we willing to swap foundations? Taurus energy has to do with our underlying philosophy of life. If our underlying philosophy was, this is the way it should be, and, are we willing to get out of our illusions? If we were more, under the illusion that we could manipulate people and to get what we want in a relationship, are we willing to do love? Are we willing to do equal give and take? Or do we want a more transactional relationship? And I see there's a card here in the deck that got flipped over. So I'm curious. It's right above the Judgment card. So there's something that's hidden. Some people who aren't seeing the truth aren't maybe seeing this. And some people who try to create illusion in the world don't want people to see this. And some people who've seen the truth are cutting this out of their life. The world talks about, are we willing to learn lessons in life? Are we willing to close out old ways of being to give birth to something new? Some people don't want to learn lessons. They want to keep doing life the way they've done it. They have this illusion of what life is supposed to be like, what relationships are supposed to be like, and they might keep repeating the same old pattern of relationship over and over and over, just hoping for a different outcome, which is the definition of insanity. And the people that have done the work within themselves to maintain their balance, what other people might not see about them is that they have learned their lessons. Some people who maybe were thinking they could manipulate people and control people, because when we're in relationships, we have the free will to be open and honest and loving and just and fair. Or some people could think, I don't know that I want to do that. I know I have a better plan. I think that I'll try to manipulate and control people and cause them all this upset and emotional upset and be in a mental prison and feel stuck and be fearful and be afraid. And then maybe they'll come back and want to exchange resources with me and be in a more transactional relationship with me instead of an equal and fair and just relationship. And what they don't realize is that some people have already been there and done that. And they're not going to do that again. And they're sitting there looking. It's like, are they going to come? Are they going to come back and get in a relationship with me? Did I manipulate them? Did I confuse them? Did I break their heart? Are they in a mental prison and don't believe in themselves? And eventually, as time goes by, they're going to see that the other people are no longer a part of their world because they learned the lesson they were meant to learn from them. Shadowy Taurus energy can be people who can be all about ego and image and status, or they're stubborn or they're prideful, and Taurus energy also talks about our philosophy of life. Some people think it's just unfair for them to act that way in a relationship. Maybe they think, oh, I'll manipulate people and whatever, and they won't move away. Oh yeah, they will. You just don't know it yet. So I'm kind of curious. Let's look at what happens after that. The people who are stubborn and prideful were in denial of the truth that some people brought themselves in from the cold, and they loved themselves, and they gave themselves all the things that this person wasn't willing to give them. And they bossed up. And they're making decisions in their life that are best for all aspects of themselves. And it's that thing that, we can love people. If we just want, Tarot talks about the 4 elements that we use: our heart, our mind, our passion, our creativity, our intuition, and then how we take action in the 3D world. Sometimes people were listening more to their heart. They weren't making decisions taking all things into consideration. I love them. And they were going with that. But some people have bossed up. And it's like, I'm making more mature decisions for myself. And I'm tempering my fear, my insecurity, my pride, my ego to be strong. That I'm taking my door with me. If you once had access to me, I'm taking the door to you having access to me with me. And I'm holding back from you in the 4 of Pentacles because I love myself. And if I was giving love to you and you were trying to manipulate me or control me or whatever, then I decided to love my own inner child nature and put my attention on me. Instead of giving my attention and my love to you when you didn't appreciate it, I'm going to invest in growing and maturing myself and loving myself so that I can become independent of you. And knowing my worth and value, and to be independent within the world. And then I'm going to start taking action in the world as a King of Cups, taking action, listening to my heart and intuition to guide me. Because I've healed, I've meditated on the truth, and I don't have to see where I'm going. I'm going to trust that the divine will lead me forward. Because I'm no longer consumed with the world and what people who are more consumed with the world, money and ego and image and status and pride and ego, want to offer me. I am willing to hold myself accountable for my actions in the Judgment card, and I'm also holding other people accountable for their actions. And I'm choosing to have hope and faith and belief in my dreams. In love. And if people didn't make the free will choice to align with love, then they won't be people who are in my world, because we view life differently. So, yeah, and then underneath that we got the stars. The Aquarius card. I have a wish and a dream, and I'm going to keep listening to my intuition and let love guide me. Because if I make decisions out of fear and insecurity and pride and ego, I might get in relationships with people who play on my fear, my insecurity, my codependency, my lust, my greed. And I don't want that. Been there and done that. So what cards do we have? We have the High Priestess, the Knight of Swords, and then this card that isn't showing itself, which again can be things that some people are rejecting, don't want to look at, don't want other people to see, and what high vibe people might not be showing the world and are also rejecting from their life. The Nine of Swords. The high vibe people in the High Priestess card are listening to their intuition about people who might want to get close to them, But they could be people who don't show the world that they're in a mental prison about love. So sometimes people who are in a mental prison about love like to be with people. The high priestess is Pisces Cancer energy, and the feminines in tarot can talk about our emotional state. So whether you're male or female, if you're someone who's very intuitive, loving, caring, nurturing, insightful, all those good things, there might be people who'd like to be in a relationship with you because they have a lot of fear of loving themselves and believing in themselves. And so they want you to maybe nurture and love them. But that would be them taking from you, because if they're fearful of love and they'd want to kind of indulge in a relationship with you, but they don't freely give of themselves. And relationships should be where people, their cup runs over. You're giving, you're loving, you're warm. And some people live more from their mind than their heart, but they don't want to move forward. They have fears about moving forward and believing in themselves. So some of them could want to come back and get in a relationship with you, is what I'm saying. And maybe the reason they can't get back in a relationship with you is because you're fighting for the truth in the Knight of Swords. You're not up in your head about love. You've given a lot of thought to it. And you're taking action and speaking the truth about love. And so then they can't put you in a mental prison and manipulate you anymore. So then we have the Five of Pentacles, the Tower card, the Ace of Wands, and the Three of Cups. Yeah, there could have been some people, maybe they exchanged foundations. Instead of being in a relationship with some loving people in their life, maybe they went to the third party. That'll be better, right? I think I'm going to operate from my pride, my ego. I'm going to be self-centered. I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to be fearful. I'm going to be whatever. And they didn't choose love. Now some of those people could want to be getting away from the third party. But now the door is shut, because when they felt left out in the cold in the Five of Pentacles, and they didn't put work and effort into choosing love and letting go of that lack mentality, they could have let go of loving people in their life because they thought for sure in the Ace of Wands that they wanted to go align with the third party, align with their fear, their insecurity, their pride, their ego. That's the right choice. And then I'm going to go align with the people in the world who won't make me have to learn lessons in life and let go of that old foundation. They wanted to cling to that old foundation of operating from fear, insecurity, pride, ego, being manipulative, having illusions about love. Some of them now might want to come back, but that foundation's gone. They left some people out in the cold. Some of them could have gotten in some relationships and they were hiding that they were defensive, that they do have this maybe more aligned in the Five of Pentacles with their worldly nature or their defensive nature, and their foundation was unstable, that they don't build their life on loving themselves and believing in themselves, and that if they get in relationships with people who are intuitive that they're defensive, who maybe try to encourage them to move forward in life and detach from their old ways of being and to let that old foundation go, they could have had a lot of fear and insecurity about it. And they could have decided, I'm willing to let the relationship go. I'll just go get in a relationship with someone else who doesn't want me to heal and grow and let those old ways of being go. That maybe didn't work out so well. So now they might want to come back. But, that foundation was kind of torn down. And also, the high vibe people could have taken, moved forward from that after a relationship ended, which is kind of what the Tower can talk about, because the truth was revealed that some people are defensive of moving forward, that some people were defensive of letting go of things in their past that they're still clinging on to, ways of being, ways of thinking, people in their life, whatever. Well, when that relationship ended, the high vibe people took creative, inspired action and love to move forward in their life and to work with other people who operate from a foundation of love. When these people that were kind of more in shadowy energy were in relationships that were based on a foundation of love, because the Three of Cups is Cancer energy, they were like, get me out of here, get me out of here, let me out. Because the Five of Pentacles is like the opposite. It can be in shadow, where people are more aligned with their worldly nature, because the Five of Pentacles is Taurus energy, which is earth sign energy, which in shadow can be, I make my life and the decisions in my life based on if it's good for my status and my image, and will it bring stability and security and abundance to my life. I don't make decisions from love. I could get hurt doing that. And when they got in relationships with people who are intuitive and loving and speak the truth, who aren't in a mental prison of love, who learn lessons in life, because the Five of Pentacles moves away from the Four of Pentacles and high vibe, and they're willing to let go of old ways of being because they've learned lessons in life. They've let go of kind of indulging their third party nature, which is their fear and their insecurity and stuff. They've let that go. They're operating from a foundation of love and are inspired by love. And if they got in a relationship with people who don't view life that way, it'd be like, oh my God, get me out of here. How did I get in a relationship with someone like this? I need to go back to the people who are more about, playing it safe, or being practical and being grounded, and let's be in a relationship because it's good for our image and our status and stuff. Shit, who wants to do love? I get hurt doing that. Well, some of the very people who went to go get involved with other people could now want to leave those people. Oops. Well, you got to pick one team or the other. But the only thing is, whenever we're not building our life on love and we're getting in relationships because of fear or insecurity or pride or ego or greed or immaturity and not wanting to grow up, it's not going to work out well, because you're building your foundation on shifting sand, and you might be getting in relationships with other people who really aren't in it for love. And some people, when they were in relationships with loving people, they were defensive to it. They also could have gotten kind of where they were harsh and controlling and stubborn and prideful in the foundation, because they were afraid of their partner growing and healing. Because if their partner healed from their past pain and heartbreak and some of their self-limiting beliefs, they would be willing to detach from old ways of being, and they'd want, kind of the relationship to move to the next level. And some people want to stay right here, and they don't want to detach from their old ways of being. They have a lot of fear of letting go of old ways of being, and maybe being defensive, and maybe even connecting in with their more loving nature. That in itself could be like too much risk. Oh my God, reminds me of that song by Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper of In the Shallows. We're far from the shallows now. When some people got in a relationship where it's like, oh shit, oh my gosh, I am in way over my head. I could, they start letting their fear and insecurity get to them instead of trusting the relationship and going with the flow. It was just like, oh my gosh, let me back into that unstable tower. Let me be out in the cold. I could get hurt here. I don't want to do hurt. I never planned to do hurt. I never planned to put myself at risk. I never planned to fall in love with someone. Get me out of here. And they thought the better choice was to go get in a relationship with someone else, but I don't think that worked out so well. So let's see what happens next in the story. So we have the Four of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. Well, I guess we could say that some people who are really defensive to change sometimes those people get in foundations and they really put in a lot of work, because this looks like it looks like a guy dressed up like a lady. So, some people, I would say that to me means that some people who are operating more from their pride and ego, because we all present ourselves in the world in our more worldly nature, which is masculine energy, which can be like our egoic nature. Some of those people emotionally actually try to sabotage love. They do it within themselves in their own foundation of the Four of Wands. Because again, they could live more from their mind than their heart. And if they think it's just and fair to be in relationships living more from your mind than your heart, where people don't change, people don't move forward, people don't grow and heal, people are supposed to maybe indulge them in a relationship, because they haven't ever learned to love and believe in themselves. They sabotage themselves. They sabotage themselves from moving forward and loving themselves and believing in themselves, and maybe even offering love to their own foundation. And so, since they do that and they've decided that's what's best for them, sometimes when they get in relationships with other people, they're kind of subtly, maybe in the dark, in the quiet, in the shadows, trying to do things to sabotage love in a relationship. And that would be sabotaging, like equal give and take in a relationship, because they might want to do things purposely to make people feel left out in the cold and unstable. People get in a relationship, but then they do things within it that it's like, why are you doing that? That was like, reckless or immature or hurtful or unkind. And it kind of, can wobble the foundation of a relationship. But if some people are afraid, which it's human nature. If we have a job, if we have a friendship, if we have a relationship, we would like the relationship that we're in to work instead of moving away and having to go find someone else to start fresh with. We don't really like to exchange foundations. We like, if we put in work and effort in a foundation, we like to keep working on that foundation. And they could kind of use that against people. Maybe they realize that about human beings. I would have never realized any of that until I did tarot. But they keep thinking maybe if they keep doing that, if people are loving and giving and want to work on a relationship, they'll keep being focused on them. Like, let me in, let me in. Why won't you let me help you? Why are you doing these things? Instead of just moving forward, taking creative, inspired action and love. Kind of like, I don't know why you do those things, but I'm going to keep taking creative, inspired action and stay in the energy of love. And if you want to stay over there and working in these unpleasant, unhappy, whatever ways of being, you have free will. I can try to encourage you, but eventually, and that's what happens is people kind of get tired of being locked out. And that's sometimes how people try to manipulate other people. I'm intuitive. So they use their intuition in a shadowy way. I'm intuitive that if I kind of shut you out, you might not want to fly away. And you might sit there and you might keep putting more work and effort into trying to break through my defenses than realizing we all have free will. And if I'm free willingly shutting you out, maybe you should fly away. I'm trying to find out if you'll fly. Will you fly alone? Or are you kind of got some fear and insecurity about doing that? Oh, will you stay? Perfect. I'm glad to know you have a lack mentality. I'm glad to know you haven't learned how to love and heal yourself, or you think a relationship is about putting in all this work and effort to try to heal other people who maybe aren't putting any work and effort to heal themselves. I'm glad you're willing to stay in an unstable foundation. I'm glad you keep trying to put in all this work and effort into me instead of maybe taking some creative, inspired action to focus on yourself and love yourself. Because if you did start putting in work and effort into taking creative, inspired action on working within yourself to heal, instead of continuing to work together with someone who seems to be trying to sabotage the relationship, you could maybe move forward in love with people who are more balanced and just and fair. But if your philosophy is life is that you're supposed to treat people like indulgent children who can't care for themselves, who are helpless, well, that's perfect. Let me be the boss and ruler of this relationship. Let me be prideful and egotistical and stubborn and self-centered and shadowy Leo energy. Let me keep being defensive. Let me keep holding back and not opening up and not learning and growing and maturing. And you just keep indulging me like I'm some small child who doesn't have to learn lessons in life and doesn't have to grow up. Keep indulging me. And we'll keep moving forward with this long-term plan of doing a relationship this way, where, you keep offering me love, and I keep being in my ways of being that are kind of hurtful and unkind, and you just refuse to see the truth. And none of us learn any lessons in life. Because none of us want to call judgment on ourselves or each other. We want to just keep doing things the way we've been doing it. So some people who might want to be in a relationship just want someone to exchange some resources with them, some hugs, some kisses, some time, some intuition. Some of those people, their intuition could be trying to get into them, to tell them, I don't know, you might want to fly away. And they're ignoring it, saying, no, I don't dare move forward on my own. I think I'll be unstable on my own. I think I'm going to keep moving forward with this person. And when we don't listen to our intuition, we're probably going to get in some situations where actually all the energy is kind of working against us because we didn't choose love. We let our fear, our insecurity, our pride, our ego, our own self-sabotage stop us from kind of getting the loving, balanced relationships we deserve. Living more from our mind than our heart. The Three of Swords is Libra energy, and it can be living more from your mind than your heart, your fear, your self-limiting beliefs and all that. Our shadow nature would love to be the ruler in our own foundation of our life, to stop us from moving forward in love, because then our more immature, indulgent, prideful, egotistical nature doesn't get to run the show. We would have exchanged foundations and aligned with love. And when we give in to our more shadowy nature, our shadowy nature isn't going to give up without a fight. It's kind of like the angel on your shoulder or the devil on your shoulder. When you start tipping more into your shadowy nature, that's the momentum of your life starts to go that way. And it gets very hard to get out of it. Sometimes we really got to go through some major disruptions to find, and that's what happens, I think, is that things finally get so unbearable, the truth is revealed, but we can keep saying, no, let me back in, I don't want to choose love. I don't want to have hope and faith and belief that there's more to this world than what I believe there is, or that there's more than me indulging in the world, or me being immature and me getting to be the boss of my own life. I refuse to believe that I have a more loving, intuitive nature that I should listen to, that I should make my life about love, because then I can't be selfish or greedy or self-centered or immature and indulgent within my own life or within relationships. No, no, no. Isn't life about me supposed to nurture and love the people in the world that are unstable? Well, it's to offer love and kindness to people and encouragement. Doesn't mean you got to be in a relationship with them. That would be two people who are equally out of balance. We try to encourage people to get balance within themselves. We don't deserve to be in an unbalanced relationship, because the people who aren't aligned with love are going to keep kind of sabotaging the relationship, because they don't want you to be bold and brave and confident, because they're not bold and brave and confident. They want you to be unstable like they are, and they're going to try to stop you from loving your own foundation, because they want you to be in your shadow energy, which is being codependent on them, being fearful and afraid, being afraid of going out on your own and believing you can manifest your dreams into reality. But they're not putting in the work and effort to bring a loving dream into reality. Who are we going to keep investing time, energy, and effort into? As some of you have overcome and moved forward and exchanged foundations, there could be other people in the world who have seen you do that. And some of those people could be deciding to maybe put up some defenses to not letting certain people have access to their life anymore, who they might know want to exchange time, energy, hugs, and kisses with them. But they might have felt left out in the cold in the relationship they're in. It's been very chaotic and unstable, but they have kept investing in it. But as they could be inspired by how you have hope and faith and belief in your dreams, they could be giving a lot of thought to their underlying philosophy of life and how they view relationships and their perspective of the world. And they might quit taking action to align with their more shadowy or fearful nature and other people in their life that maybe want to be in relationship with them, but they could know that those people kind of try to sabotage them from loving and believing in themselves, because the people who want to be in relationship with them are happy that they are maybe codependent or don't believe in themselves, and they play on that. And you might be inspiring some people to get more, to take that creative, inspired action to love and believe in themselves, so that their foundation can get more balanced and not be deceived by their fear and their insecurity, to offer love to their foundation so they can be more balanced. And as you're doing that, I'm sure you probably have, loving people want other people to heal from their fears and insecurities and their past pain and heartbreak. Why would we want somebody to be oppressed and limited and confined? That's like creating a little hell on earth. But there's some other people who do play on your fear, your insecurity, not knowing your worth and value, giving up on your dreams, because then they can't indulge in a relationship with you, because they're not willing. They don't view life that way. And they maybe haven't learned to love themselves. And if you learn to love and believe in yourself, then they can't indulge in a relationship with you. So, loving people encourage people to move forward in their life, to be bold and brave, and other people try to diminish people and rock their foundation. they do things manipulatively to make them feel left out in the cold, to try to destabilize them so that they'll keep being focused on them instead of putting work and effort into healing themselves. Well, I don't see anything more in there that I want to talk about. Let's just go to, what do the people who in shadowy energy, who might just have some fear and insecurity that they need to work through. So if you've known some shadowy people, really shadowy people, the people who maybe prey on people, who like to do things, who might be just very unstable within themselves, who do a lot of things in the dark and they think it's just and fair to do that, who do things secretly to maybe destabilize and sabotage relationships, who might have a lack mentality. Well, let's do those people first. Those people, they got a lot of lessons to learn. Odds are they will not be changing anytime soon, if ever. But let's go check. What are those, the really shadowy people, not see coming in their life? And there was some shadowy people, like I say, who thought you would always not give up the fight. That if they left you out in the cold, it would like so destabilize you. You would be bound and determined to get back in a relationship with them, because kind of reminds me of a, oh, well, I can reach it. People who thought you didn't love and believe in yourself, that they could defeat you, that they could swing you over to the negative side, get another team player for the shadow side. What they didn't know, gets exhausting trying to break someone else's defenses down. Love shouldn't be so difficult. People either love you or they don't. People are either open and kind and giving or they're not. And we can keep being in denial and delusion about it, like I can change people. People have to be willing to change themselves. And eventually people love themselves. In their own foundation, they did the work to offer themselves love, and they're moving forward. And I think for some of those people, it's a tower moment, because they didn't realize that while they've been off doing all these sabotaging things, thinking they were stopping you from moving forward and working together with others and having new beginnings and loving and believing in yourself, you were doing all this work. They just couldn't see it. That you were doing all this work to heal and grow and mature yourself and get over your fears and insecurities so that you could let that go. And they just didn't see all the work you were doing behind the scenes. So I think it'll be a real tower moment for them when they realize, I guess in their self-centeredness, that you've moved on. What do they not see coming? The Knight of Pentacles and the Chariot card. The Chariot card is Cancer energy, about love. I think there's going to be new people who want to invest in you because you are loving, you are balanced. You aren't someone who's prideful and egotistical and selfish and greedy, and you've taken the reins of your dualistic nature, and your more loving nature is leading. Your shadow side has to take a back seat. Only one aspect of yourself can be in the forefront of your life at any given time, and your high vibe loving nature is leading your life, and you're having new beginnings. You're investing in new things to get the nurturing, loving, stable environments that you deserve to be in. And as you're doing that, there's going to be other people who want to invest in you because they see that you're doing that work. What the shadowy people might have to settle for is investing in someone who presents themselves as harnessing high vibe Cancer energy. Oh no, I'm a loving family person, but it's really just an illusion. This how they move in the world and maybe looking very successful in the world. And they're going to have to go invest in those people, just people who wear a mask of being loving, but they're not. They're probably more focused on money and materialism and status and image. Tell us about the people that might be being inspired to move forward in their life and are maybe right now dismantling an old foundation with people who maybe try to manipulate and control them. The Emperor, because of the Two of Pentacles. People are connecting in with their emotions, gaining insight about the foundations and their philosophies of life and the relationships they've gotten themselves into. And they've realized they have got to make a decision to get more balanced within themselves and decide that they deserve to be in relationships that are more balanced. And, you know, the Two of Pentacles talks about there's the two ships of dreams out there. We have free will. What dream are we going to bring into reality? Whichever one we invest in is the one that's going to come into reality. Are we going to keep indulging people who are more focused on money and materialism and status and image, or who manipulate and betray us and leave us out in the cold? Are those the people? Well, if we invest in those people, that's who will manifest. Or are we willing to lift up our investment in those people to get more balance, to really think about what we want to have come into reality? Are we willing to make a decision to lift up our investment in how we had lived our life to get more balanced, so we can really think about what we want to invest in, what would be a good investment for our kingdom of self? And I guess I don't know how I worded it, but what I wanted to ask is kind of also what those people don't see coming is, again, if they're in a relationship, some of the other people that are kind of in transition right now, that if they're in a relationship with someone, shadowy Aries energy can be someone who's kind of bossy and controlling in foundations. They don't really like to invest. They like to juggle. They like to present themselves as one way to the world and hide their true nature behind the surface. And it's all about their wants, their needs, their lusts, their greed, their pride or ego, male or female. If someone's in a relationship with someone like that, what they don't see coming is the person in their life who is more aligned with not being just and fair and loving. That person might decide to juggle them. And that could be, because if this person is listening to their intuition and not letting this person kind of manipulate them and stuff like they used to, well, the person they're in a relationship with, when they feel left out in the cold, what do? Do they act with love? Or do they get inspired to I'm going to bring it down. If you're not going to do it my way, I'll let this go. I will go take action towards a third party. How do you like those beans? So yeah, what they might not see coming, and it's kind of it's going to happen kind of inevitably anyway. If a relationship's unbalanced and someone thinks they have the upper hand and the other person has kind of been enabling them in poor behavior, their poor behavior is just going to grow. They're going to become, it's kind of like a little kid with a parent. It's like, wow, I can't believe mom didn't or dad didn't, whatever. Wonder if I do this. Wonder if I do that. Hell, what all can I get away with here? Okay, tell us about the high vibe people. The high vibe people that have detached from some old foundations, who have offered love to their foundation, who are balanced, who are looking to the future. What do they not see coming? The Empress, the Wheel of Fortune, and the World, because of the Eight of Pentacles. The Feminines in Tarot, again, talk about our emotional state. What you don't see coming is that you're going to give birth to the Wheel of Fortune going in your favor, because you're kind of in alignment with life-giving energy. You're creative, you're inspired, you love and believe in yourself. You're like in alignment with the energy of the divine. And the wheel of fortune is going to go in your favor in the world because you have put in that work and effort in Virgo energy to gain insight and wisdom, to be balanced within yourself. You put in the work and effort to be abundant within yourself. And there's going to be other people in the world who are going to want to invest and work with you because they see that you're loving, you're creative, you're inspired, you know your worth and value. You're not superficial and shallow, you're not clingy and prideful and egotistical. And there's a lot of people who like to work with people who are like that. And you're going to maybe put an end to working with people whose long-term goal is all about ego or materialism. And you're going to work with people who harness high vibe Virgo energy, which is people who've also went within to gain insight and wisdom. They're also firing on all four cylinders emotionally. They also don't operate from pride and ego and manipulation. They want to be in loving relationships with other people who've put in the work to align with love. So one cycle's going to end. Some of you could be getting in a new job, or the wheel of fortune at your job or in your workplace or whatever you're putting work and effort into, it will go in your favor. Maybe other people, because you're inspiring them to align with their more balanced, loving nature instead of being kind of deceptive or manipulative for some of them. If it's in a workplace, they all might kind of get on board of closing out old ways of being and start putting in work and effort because you've maybe inspired them to do that. That would be awesome. And as you're moving forward and other people move forward, someone might want to have a new beginning in your foundation because they see that what they had been investing in or how they'd kind of been living their life just wasn't what they thought it was going to be. And you inspired them to take action, to love and believe in themselves. And they might want to have a new beginning with you. Because they too have closed out a cycle of thinking life's about putting in work and effort with these people to help them heal or grow. People got free will. People are willing to heal and grow and mature themselves or not. All we can do is try to inspire them and encourage them. And if they doggedly refuse to work together in love and they're like, no, we got to do it this way. No. We got to keep doing it in this destabilized way, and we got to keep focused on the world, and we got to make it all about these things. We can't make it about love. There comes a point in time when our foundation has to accept that some people just don't want to move forward in love. Their mind, their fear, their insecurity stops them. And until they win that battle within themselves and move forward in love, if our intuition is telling us, that would be our Pisces Knight of Cups energy. If our intuition is telling us we've done all we can, we gave it our best effort. It's time to move forward and exchange foundations. Go align and invest our time, energy, and effort into the loving people of the world. And maybe that will be what inspires the people who hide that they're defensive, and they may never change because for some reason they don't want to be vulnerable in the world. So they might go invest in someone who has the status and the image and the money and materialism and wants to make their life all about that, who isn't wanting them to grow and mature themselves. And it's like their ideal partner, and we got to get out of our ego about it, Just like we don't want to live life the way they do, they don't want to live life the way we do. It's just viewing life differently. So there you go, Pisces energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.